Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another 2024 presidential election prediction. Today, I'm going to be doing an election prediction between Donald Trump and Elizabeth Warren. Donald Trump, obviously, the former president of the United States, 45th president, and Kamala Harris, the incumbent senator of Massachusetts. Before I start this prediction, make sure to go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel. By the time this releases, we are either at 250 or very close to it, so make sure to go ahead and subscribe. At the moment, I am very, very close. So, who wants to be a quarter of a way to 1,000? Anyway, let's get right into the prediction and start off with the safe Warren states. Oregon will obviously be a smaller margin than Washington. However, they'll all remain in the safe category. I think that after really Warren's getting exposed by Trump, she's going to have a lot of trouble winning in key toss-up states and appealing to the toss-up areas. I think she has a pretty good northeastern appeal and maybe west coast appeal. However, it doesn't really diverge much from there. And I don't know how well Warren's going to do. And obviously, all my predictions are based off of the current, temperature at the moment in politics. And Republicans are doing very, very well. Biden, recent video I had out, record low approval rating. And that goes, frankly, for the whole Democrat Party. So I see Warren doing bad at the moment. It's not 2024, obviously, but the prediction is not going to be favorable to Elizabeth Warren. Anyway, we're at the safe Democrat and safe Republican states. Let's get to likely Democrat races. The likely Democrat will be the state of Colorado. That'd be the only state. I don't really see suburban women coming out as much in favor of Warren. However, a bit of an opposition to Trump. So Virginia will probably be a lean Democrat state. However, I see Maine at large going as likely to Warren, and New Hampshire. She has that popularity in the Northeast, being from Massachusetts. Very, very good East Coast appeal, and she'll be able to do well there. However, in Maine second, that'll be the only race that Trump is able to do well in the East Coast, or Upper East Coast, Northeast. Just doing well with a lot of those. I guess it's more of the agricultural area of Maine. You have the lobster farmers there and whatnot. If you want to call it farmers or fishers, or I don't even know what you call those people. But he's very good at appealing to that area economically. Same with the states of Ohio and Iowa, which will be likely as well. We'll go to Donald Trump by a likely column. I'm very tempted to put Florida as a likely column, which I will. May come off as a bit of a surprise, but I do think that Florida will go to Trump by a likely column. As I mentioned previously over and over and over again, Florida has continued to trend to the Republicans column. Republicans are now the majority in the state, with a majority of party affiliation being with Republicans. By 4,000, they've finally taken the lead. They were down about 250,000 about 4 years ago, but that has drastically shifted thanks to Ron DeSantis and Trump's ground game in 2020, which we saw from Miami-Dade County, drastically shifting Republican back in 2020. Florida will go to Trump probably by about 5 to 6 points, which is in the likely margins, as you feel free to take a look at in the description of the video. Another likely state will be the state of Texas, probably similar margins. I think it will shift backwards a lot. I think Warren's a pretty unpopular candidate for the Democrats, and he'll turn off a lot of the voters in Texas. The only reason O'Rourke was really able to make it close here was because of his moderate appeal. I think that's kind of drifted, so I don't think he'll do well against Abbott. Talking about this election at 2022 at the moment, but same thing goes for Warren. Same thing goes for everything. And at the moment, as we all know, O'Rourke doesn't even want Biden campaigning, so he doesn't really want to make it a national race. Assuming that in a national race, Texas will be more Republican. Texas will be Trump for likely, maybe even 7 points victory for Trump. Now we head into lean Democrat states. This will include the state of Virginia, the states of New Mexico, and the state of Minnesota. All of these will go to Elizabeth Warren by a lean margin. Minnesota probably about 1 to 2 points, maybe 3 points, maybe just say 1 to 3. It will narrow up as it has over the last few elections, although it did have a very big bounce back with Joe Biden. However, I think that was a bit of a fluke. The whole Rust Belt will go along with Minnesota eventually, and that is really an inevitability of the Rust Belt, especially due to recent demographic changes across the U.S. New Mexico, Virginia, trending to the left. However, I think Elizabeth Warren will tick it down a little bit. And at the moment, with Biden's huge unpopularity, Youngkin's win in 2021, the states are going to be a bit closer, maybe a bit more vulnerable. However, they still will remain in the Democrat column. More in the higher ups, probably going to Warren by about 4.5%, I would say, each of the states, if I was to be very, very specific. Lean Republican races will be the state of North Carolina that will go to Donald Trump by a lean margin, as well as the state of Wisconsin, Arizona, and Arizona. Those will be the states that shift to Donald Trump by a lean margin. North Carolina really will always go to the Republicans by a lean margin unless it's a really bad one. Even went around it by a lean margin, that remains the same. The only real Democrat who's been able to be successful in North Carolina is Roy Cooper. Biden wasn't really able to. Obama only once with McCain, who was, in my mind, a very, very awful candidate for the Republicans, and frankly, could have won that state if he wanted to. But yeah, Arizona, I think I don't think Arizona is set in stone as becoming a Democrat state. I think it's definitely very flexible. Mark Kelly could definitely lose in 2022 and definitely could shift back to Republicans in 2024. Thinking about especially the Hispanic and demographic shifts and who the Democrats nominate. If it's not Biden and if it's Warren, Arizona definitely could shift, as well as other states. Wisconsin, another state that continues to trend to the right. You can look at the demographic, or not the demographic, but the margin changes over the last few election cycles. It has gotten much more red. So I will move it to the lean category. For tilt Democrat races, I'm going to make Georgia a tilt Democrat race. I do think Georgia is actually much more of a shift than Arizona becoming more Democratic. Definitely very similar to Colorado, New Mexico, Virginia in that regards. And it could end up being more of a lean Democrat state going into the late 2020s and 2030s. Tilt Republican states will be the rest of the map. I think that Trump will hold on to Nebraska second, especially with redistricting. It will become a more Republican district, and even candidates like Trump will do better. It won't be as suburban as it is now. Pennsylvania, Michigan has continued to shift to the right with those demographic margin changes as the Rust Belt shifts, and those will go by tilt margins. Not as much as Wisconsin, which is shifting more, but they will go nonetheless. Nevada, Democrats have done very, very poorly in Nevada in managing their party there, and I think that Trump could actually pull it off. I think that Nevada is going to be much more vulnerable to Republican takeover in future elections, so you need to be looking at Nevada when making predictions, and I think that come 2024, Republican has a really good shot at winning the state. And with that, thank you for watching this video. If you would change any of the states, please let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like the video, turn on your notifications, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Once more, thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day and stay tuned for more videos.